Hello, I'm Len Nasman. Several years ago, my wife Diane and I were faced with a major decision. I left my position as a professor of engineering graphics at Ohio State University some years earlier to start my own company, and eventually I found myself easing into retirement. After more than 2 decades, Diana decided to retire from her beloved job teaching English as a second language at Ohio State. And that was a hard decision because she was having so much fun teaching that she couldn't imagine life after teaching. The problem was we were still very active, and the idea of rattling around for years in a Columbus suburb, fighting increasing city traffic just to shop or go to the theater or whatever, was just not very appealing. The idea of moving to one of those big gated communities in Florida or in the South was for us a non-starter. We've been to Florida, and the crowds and climate are not for us. My parents spent their last years there in a retirement village of mobile homes near Tampa, and we visited there many times, but that kind of place and lifestyle felt a little too confining for us. We did not quite consider ourselves senior citizens yet, and the concept of moving to an old folks' home was really frightening to contemplate. The serious question for Diane and I was, just what do we want for our retirement years? The idea of retirement caused some serious thinking about how I wanted to spend the last part of my life. Here's what I decided I wanted in retirement. See if you agree. If you do, I may have discovered the answer to your retirement quest as well as mine. First of all, I want security. I want to live in a place that will be there for as long as I'm around. I've heard the horror stories about retirement centers that have gone out of business or changed owners or otherwise left residents in a mess. I want to be in a place that has a proven record of stability. I want to live in a place where I do not have to install multiple locks on the doors or install one of those fancy burglar alarm systems. I want to live somewhere where I know my neighbors and trust that they will treat me the way I will treat them. I like the idea of living where neighbors are not only friendly, but who are good friends as well. I want to know if I get sick or hurt that someone will be there to support my wife, with trips to the doctor or to the hospital or to provide comfort in difficult times. I want to be where competent medical attention is readily available. In addition to security, I need both physical and intellectual stimulation. I'm not the kind of person that's happy sitting in a rocking chair all day. I want to be able to exercise, but I don't like the idea of constantly paying fees to join some club and then have to drive across town and get there only to watch those youngsters building their muscles and showing off their looks. I want to be able to attend lectures and learn about new things. I like to be able to attend concerts and first-class performances now and then. I have hobbies. I probably have more hobbies than I have time. But I want to be someplace where I can continue with my hobbies, and I do not want to have to give them up if I move to a probably smaller retirement home. There are things that I'd not have time to pursue yet. It would be nice if I could call on someone for help or advice when I try something new, maybe arts and crafts stuff or music or whatever. I suspect that if I stay isolated in a home in the suburbs without contact with active folks to inspire me, I might not dare make the jump to some new activity. I want to live where people know who I am. It's not that I'm a big show-off. Well, maybe I am a bit of a show-off, but it's nice that if I take some new pictures or sing a solo or create something, that I have an audience. Some people that might admire what I created and maybe say, that's a nice thing you did. I've discovered that I get a really good feeling when I can do something for someone else. It would be nice to be in a place where I can feel helpful. A danger of retirement is that some people don't feel longer have regular job responsibilities. I believe that a longer life comes from having a life worth living long. And a life worth living is a life where you're not alone. And you're never alone when you're of value to other people. I like the idea of living in a small town. I grew up in a small town. Being anonymous is not a priority for me. I don't mind when I meet people in a supermarket or in a restaurant and they actually can call me by name. I know that just because your house is in a small town, you're not isolated from the world. I don't want to go to the opera every week or to a New York-style production every day, but I know that it's not too much harder to travel an hour on rural roads to get to the theater than it is to drive through crazy city traffic to get to the same place. I'm not afraid of being isolated in a small town. As a matter of fact, I feel more isolated when I'm in the middle of a big city. Do you share any of my ideas or wishes for retirement life? Do you think that there is a place where these wants and needs can become reality? And is such a place affordable? Well, Diana and I had heard about a retirement village in southern Ohio, and we decided to stop by there when we were in the area. As a result, we discovered what might be the best kept secret in Ohio, Bristol Village. If you're interested in learning why we think Bristol Village is a well-kept retirement secret, please take a look at part 2 in this series of videos.